Yes, guys, before we crack into today's video, if you do want to get anything from the Chelsea Megastore, we've got a 10% discount code. GBFC10 gets you 10% off everything at the Chelsea Online Megastore. Check out the QR code on the screen and the link in the description. And let's crack in to today's video. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. This looks all right, doesn't it? This looks good. It probably sounds just about perfect as well. If you aren't subscribed to Shootout, this is the studio that Eunice and I usually film the Shootout videos in. There's a link in the top of the description. We record here twice a week for about 2 hours each time, and we usually get lots of content out of that. But today, Eunice has slept in. So here I am, using the time wisely to talk to you lot a little bit more about the discipline problems, should we say, at Chelsea Football Club right now, because that match last night against Wolves, 4-3 win. Yeah, we're happy about that. It's a good result. We managed to get the job done. We're into the hat for the quarterfinals. And as a result of that, Chelsea have drawn Cardiff City away in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. When it comes to the Carabao Cup draw, this might be about as boring and plain and simple of a Carabao Cup draw as you can get. Cardiff, Chelsea, Man City at home to Brentford, Arsenal at home to Crystal Palace, and then there is another game as well, Fulham against Newcastle, but I can't remember which way it is. I think Newcastle might be at home. Might get that one wrong. But Chelsea have a great opportunity here to try and progress into the semis. And then if you're in the semis, you get, I think, 2 legs, and then it's the final of the Carabao Cup, a trophy that I would be taking quite seriously. Now, I don't know about you lot, but when I was watching that game at the Molineux last night, seeing the difference from half-time into that second half did give me flashbacks of what we saw 1 year ago when Chelsea exited the Carabao Cup at Newcastle. It was one of those matches where if you're an away fan who's paid money to watch Chelsea on a midweek game, travelled all the way to Newcastle, a lot of away fans, come rain, come shine, win, lose, draw, you're never going to be requesting refunds. But like on the surface, that's the kind of match you're like, can somebody reimburse me here? Because that was embarrassing. And in that second half, there were elements of that performance that to me felt like we made a mistake. Felt like being 3-0 up and progressing to the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup wasn't actually on the menu or part of Chelsea's agenda. How can we go out there for that second half, 3-0 up against, by a long country mile, the worst side in the Premier League right now? We've shown up out there in that second half and we've capitulated. We've crumbled. And when I talk about discipline, right? Discipline isn't just about red cards. It's not just about yellow cards, because it wasn't just Liam Delap's red, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I want to break this down a bit more. Enzo Maresca's comments are very telling. And I think when a manager says what Maresca says last night, you can get a good idea as to how regular these kind of conversations will happen away from the media. Maresca last night, forget the media training, this was crazy. But the discipline from Chelsea in general, okay, game management, discipline, these terms come hand in hand in a footballing sense. Chelsea have an issue right now. And the issue isn't just about conceding goals. It's about the way that we control, let's call it like a car, right? If you've got no clutch control because you've got a broken ankle, the car is all over the place. You've got no control. Chelsea have that when you look at the course of a game of football for 90 minutes. And it seems to me as though the better the opposition Chelsea play, the more clutch control we have. That's discipline. Discipline is understanding that a football match is 90 minutes long. And throughout that 90 minutes, you're going to concede opportunities. Now, when Chelsea concede opportunities, it's a little bit different to when, let's say, an Arsenal side concede opportunities. The difference is the calibre of player that are dealing with defensive situations at Arsenal is so much higher than that of Chelsea. So right now, whenever Chelsea are under the cosh, whenever a team is on the attack against us, I firmly believe we're going to concede a goal. And that is a problem. Whether it's Robert Sanchez in goal or the significantly lower standard Philip Jorgensen. Maybe that's saying something to some of you, and certainly is to me to some extent. Chelsea look like conceding all the time. We're at 6s and 7s at the back when it comes to positioning, the ability to step into a tackle, when we're running with our back to goal 1v1, we don't deal with these situations. And we're crumbling because we've got no discipline. Now, obviously, we won the match. So in the 6 Things We Learned video last night, if you watched that video, well done to you. If you still had the capacity and the desire to sit and listen to like borderline emotional analysis, that's why I wanted to go into it more today. Because fundamentally, right, Wolves are the easiest Premier League opponent you're going to face. Chelsea need to solve this issue very quickly. And the issue is exacerbated by the Liam Delap red card. Soon as Liam Delap came on the pitch, I was excited. This is the striker that we bought in as the number 9. We didn't want to buy Victor Osimhen. We thought he was too expensive. We thought the wages were too much. We're not going to bring him in. Player that I've wanted at Chelsea for many years. Liam Delap comes in. I look at Liam Delap and I'm like, there's so much to his game here. He is a brilliant striker of the ball when it comes to actually connecting with the ball. He's a goal scorer. He was the shining light for Ipswich Town last season. Many people would also argue, is that a good enough striker for Chelsea? Now, obviously, this conversation, you can be on whatever side of the fence you want to be when it comes to whether you like Liam Delap, whether you think he's Chelsea standard. But if there's one thing that any professional footballer needs to have, it's temperament control. And last night, Liam Delap's temperament absolutely stunk the Molineux gaff out. Now, Enzo Maresca has had some very harsh words against Liam Delap, and I'm going to address those with you lot now. Enzo Maresca accused Liam Delap of playing for himself after the Chelsea striker was sent off for 2 yellow cards in the space of 7 minutes in Wednesday's 4-3 win over Wolves in the Carabao Cup. Delap is now suspended for Chelsea's league game against Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday, and Maresca struggled to contain his frustration with the summer signing afterwards. Now, this is exactly what Enzo Maresca said, and this is damning. This is a damning indictment on his genuine thoughts on Liam Delap right now, and I'm sure, imagine in the dressing room, I'm sure there's going to be a few other expletives that might have been used in this conversation. It's a stupid red card. Delap should avoid that. After the yellow card, I told him 4 or 5 times to stay calm. When he is on the pitch, he sometimes plays the game for himself and struggles to see the others around him. This is a huge thing for a Chelsea manager to publicly come out and say to the club's number 9. And remember, Liam Delap is a player who, yes, he got a few minutes in the Club World Cup, scored his goal against ES Tunis, and it was a very nicely taken goal at that, as much as the keeper didn't really move. Liam Delap was an exciting player for me because what he does isn't just, he's not scoring loads of goals for Chelsea. We know that as of right now. He's been injured for 2 months, but when you think about the way that we play, having an actual target man, someone you can aim for in the box, is what we need. It's what we lack on so many occasions, not just in the last 2 months, but in the last years, since Diego Costa left Chelsea. But for Enzo Maresca, who's not had him in the Premier League squad for more than 2 matches in his Chelsea career, for him to have this kind of analysis about Liam Delap's game tells me that we have once again gone out and bought a player who isn't ready for Chelsea. For someone to lead the line for Chelsea Football Club and to have the manager's opinion of him be that this isn't just an isolated incident. This is clearly a temperamental issue in Liam Delap's game where sometimes he gets too involved in his own head. Sometimes he isn't paying attention to what's happening around him. And I think when you look at his face, when he's leaving the pitch, when you see the fact that Liam Delap is kind of like laughing, I think this is a bit of a nervous laughter, to be quite honest, because if you genuinely find that funny, get out, mate. I'm sorry. If that is actually funny to you, that you've got 2 yellow cards in 7 minutes, and this might come across as being a little bit harsh. Maybe I'm extrapolating too much from this. Maybe I'm taking this too seriously. But it's more so the fact that he misses Tottenham at the weekend that is the problem. Because, look, I'm delighted that we beat Wolves 4-3. Yes, I think the second half was alarming, shocking, and the whole team should be bloody disciplined for the way that we turned that game on its head for all the wrong reasons, right? But the fact that Chelsea's number 9 has 2 yellows in 7 minutes, and we're not talking here about a game that was on a knife edge, where there's big jeopardy, where he's got to be going in for crunching tackles, where the opposition defenders are being really aggressive with him. So it's like 50-50. We're talking about petulance a word that I have used on countless occasions here on GBFC when it comes to talking about Chelsea players' discipline. Now, Liam Delap, right? I've been so excited for him to come back, and for that to be the 25-minute showing that we get, no wonder there are so many people that keep asking the same questions about Chelsea. And even at the weekend, when we conceded that goal against Sunderland and people come and say, well, yeah, we need some experience in defence, I was the first person to say, you know what? This isn't about experience. Tosin's 28, Chalobah's 26. This is about quality. Now, when it comes to Liam Delap, when it comes to, a couple of the moments last night where Chelsea players just not concentrating, switching off, Delap getting sent off, this is purely about arrogance with all of the wrong execution. There's a very fine line between confidence and arrogance, and I feel like this Chelsea team sometimes get too arrogant because we're Chelsea, because we're 1-0 up, because we'll dominate possession, because that's the way that Maresca sets us out to play. Now, I've said, and I'll say this again, I think in matches like last night, Maresca's got to take the shackles off the team. I'm not entirely blaming Enzo Maresca here, but I'm also not entirely blaming the players. Because I think right now at Chelsea, there is a fine line. What we're seeing from the way that we're playing is also very much nerves about injuries, about potentially overdoing it, about all the time. All you hear is 2 games a week, players are tired. Yes, we won the Club World Cup, but it should never then be at the detriment to the following season. And I sometimes think when you look at the rotation, when you look at the amount of players that we've been able to rest, last night we had literally a bench that would win against pretty much any team in world football on our day. The bench was crazy last night. So when we're not making 5 changes at half-time, how does the energy just sap out of us? Discipline. And it isn't just discipline in terms of red cards. That word has bigger weight than that, more weight than that. Chelsea need to learn how to see out games of football. If you're 3-0 up and you're still capitulating against the worst team in the Premier League, and I said this in 6 Things We Learned, 30% of Wolves' goals this season came last night in the second half against Chelsea. It's appalling. We've absolutely got to solve this problem. But as for Liam Delap, I'm happy to draw a line under this. I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram and say he was the wrong striker, you shouldn't buy him. But you absolutely need to address that it isn't just about that game. It is about the fact that he misses Tottenham, which to me is the biggest game of any Chelsea season. If we beat Spurs, best believe I'm back believing again that we can go on a run, we can climb up the table. And I think that is the dangerous thing with Chelsea right now. We're 1 loss away, or 1/2 of football, not even a loss. We're 1/2 of football away from reality slapping us in the face. And at the moment, I think we are stuck with an identity, which is we think we're better than we actually are. And I think that's the thing that needs to be called out the most. We're not that good right now. We're not good enough yet. Going forward, we've got some blistering players. Midfield, stacked when you think about it. Having central midfielders, if you average putting 2 out there in a pivot every game, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, Andre Santos. These are 4 quality midfielders. The issue is we cannot defend for love nor money, and we've got 0 discipline, be it with red cards, yellow cards, petulance, game management, and control. And thinking we're too good when we're not. We've got to fix this. We've got to solve this. But look, we're into the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Cardiff away. That's a fixture that my dad was telling me stories about in the late 70s. That's a feisty affair. Feisty fixture. Cardiff are in League One. This is a chance for Chelsea to get to the last 4 with a chance to get to Wembley. But anyway, going to wrap up this video here. I just felt like last night I wanted to address the discipline a little bit more, the game management a little bit more, because I was kind of just knackered at the end of that game last night. It's an emotional roller coaster watching Chelsea at the moment because we don't know what we're going to get game by game. Do you know what I mean? And not even game by game, half by half, minute by minute. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe if you are new. And as I said at the beginning of the video, make sure you're subscribed to Shootout. All of the content is filmed in this studio. And Eunice didn't show up yet this morning. He's still asleep. So we'll make sure that we call him out for it. And as well as that, you got this extra piece of content here. So I'll see you in the next one.